In July 2018, 6 months after my college graduation, I started realizing the biggest misconception about life. Indeed, I was starting to realize that no 9 to 5 job, no life partner, or no material goods would bring meaning to my life. But at the same time, I couldn't find meaning in any other things. I had to live a life in which I could not find fulfillment. I'm not gonna lie, I was living my life in an autopilot mode. The whole thing was just a cycle that I was repeating over and over. But still, I was enjoying one of the feelings that came with it. As a sensitive person, I have always felt up and down. And for the first time of my life, I couldn't feel anything, no positive nor negative. But I still have to admit that life had no more magic, had no more spark. I could tell that this way of living would not be sustainable, that my soul was gradually dying. Then my family called me and told me we would go to Madagascar for a 3 weeks vacation. Next thing, I opened my eyes in a world with no Wi-Fi, no internet, no social media, no rush, no routine. I remember approaching that new experience with so much emotional detachment. I wasn't necessarily happy when I hugged my family, even though I had not seen them in months. My soul was on sleep mode, and part of me was highly suspecting that it was in a coma. But still, it taught me something amazing. Life is so much better when we have no expectations. I was gradually switching from autopilot mode to live in a moment mode. I indeed rediscovered the power of endless dinner. We would sit around the table and talk about life, spirituality, and memories. We would ask my grandpa philosophical advices, and he would spread his indebatable wisdom to the table. Gradually, my soul started to come back to life. I was starting to enjoy the taste of food, that particular smell that reminded me of my childhood, these beautiful people that I love so much. I was inspired again. It's crazy what happens when you find yourself with your brothers and sisters in a place with no internet, no job, no school. On the first day, it was scary. My 17 years old sister cried in my arms telling me she wasn't sure she could make it. But we slowly understood that boredom is the best inspiration for creativity. Then I came up with that idea of filming a fake TV show which would be called Talents of Madagascar. That was a game in which my brothers, sister, cousin, and dad would play games all together and try to win, and I would be there filming and documenting the whole experience. We had so much fun recording and creating that video, and we created a strong memory. I did realize that full creativity comes in a place with no boundaries, no pressure, no hours, but it especially comes in a moment of pure boredom. As human beings, we're always chasing distractions. That's why some people spend hours on their screens, on social media. But when we come up with a true creative idea, the distraction that we come up with, it's so much more powerful and less harmful. Nowadays, we're exposed to 5,000 ads every day, compared to 500 ads in the 1970s. Always remember that when you spend a lot of time on social media, you're constantly exposed to messages from very smart people who use cognitive studies to catch your attention and always repeat the same message. Life would be better if you consume more. That message is constantly playing with us and create the monkey mind in our brain. Am I enough? Do they love me? Am I cute? What else could I get? And then we end up believing that we're the problem if we don't follow the path, follow the trend. Believe me, these people, they all know we're a social being in need for human connection, and they are using this to make money. Don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming anybody. These are corporations. The goal is to make money for them. But at least, just be conscious. Just be aware that these big corporations are making millions out of your attention, and it definitely has an impact on your well-being. We hear that everywhere now. Human attention is the new oil. Think about it.
Je nous revois quand on était petits là au bord de la piscine.
That trip was like going back to childhood. Do you remember when we were kids? Life was so tasteful, colorful, joyful. We were so free and creative. We couldn't care less if we were not admired or efficient. But what we cared about was unconditional love, connecting with people and being creative. That trip was one of the happiest moments in my entire life. because I finally got the answer. I finally got the answer that I wasn't crazy to feel lost in a highly capitalist system, that it still exists a place in the world where I could feel free, fulfilled, and in peace. That it still exists a place in the world where love is stronger than social pressure and social anxiety. That it still exists a place in the world where I could listen to my dad telling us about his childhood in the streets of Antananarivo.
Je suis tombé, c'est là où je me suis rappelé l'avant-bras.
Gosh, I love these people so much. I love that my dad is like that shaman, that modern guru who brings so much spirituality into my life. I love how my cousin is that ultimate drama queen who could do literally anything for people she loves. I love the wisdom of my brothers and sisters. They're all different, but when we're all together, we're only one, and that makes me feel so fulfilled. I truly want to live a life in which I'm more focused on the essential. A little bit like I felt when I was in Madagascar. But the truth is that I can bring a little bit of Madagascar into my life, into my daily life. The truth is that we can all bring a little bit of Madagascar into our lives. We can decide to spend more time being creative. We can set clear boundaries to spend less time on our cell phone and to be less exposed to what makes us feel that emptiness inside. We can decide to share quality time only with people we share unconditional love with. Creativity, detachment, and unconditional love are so much more powerful than consumption as a distraction. All of us can make it happen. Just think about the happiest moment in your life and work hard in order to make these moments a priority in your life. Remember that if you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. Think about it.